around here for Fnatic versus Conquest.
All right, well, we're going to get right into it, guys. And I think this is actually the knife round, Mega Man.
Is it?
I think it is.
No.
I could be wrong. It says knife round on the side.
It does.
We don't have production telling us otherwise, so we're going to assume it's the knife round. And yes, it is the knife round, guys. Even though we did have pistols out at the start. So again, we can talk a little bit more about this. And again, these map picks were pretty interesting too, because both of these maps too, just talking about the first two specifically, are very, very strong towards either side. The problem becomes specifically on Inferno though. I actually did a quick look up of the stats for specifically Fnatic. Fnatic on this new lineup, out of 5 times they played Inferno, they've never once been beaten on it.
Yeah. And that's a huge statistic for them moving forward into this one as well, is just the fact that, you know, even if they do drop Mirage, you've still got Inferno, you've still got Cash after that. And I mean, those are two, again, very strong maps for them. But if you look at it, what is that? 4 out of the last 5 times that Fnatic has played on Mirage, they've won. So they've got an 80% win rate there. But then adversely on the Conquest side, 7 out of their last 8 games that they played on there, they've won. So Conquest definitely strong on that map. One of the maps I would have actually liked to have seen Conquest pick, even against Fnatic. See, the problem is Fnatic's map pool is so, the depth of their map pool is so strong. It doesn't really matter what map you play them on. They're good on pretty much everything. But I would have liked to have seen Overpass.
Also, just generally speaking, too, I mean, Fnatic's victories could be considered a little bit more impressive because of the fact that a lot of theirs are going up against some of the top-tier European teams,
Oh, yeah.
whereas with Conquest, again, these are versus North American teams, which are considered at their level, and obviously that's just a tier below. It's just not as impressive to see those victories coming out. So the record shows strong, but now they have to throw that progress up a whole other tier here to the top. Basically, one of the top teams in the world, essentially, and try to beat that up.
Yeah, one of the top, if not the top team. Obviously, Envious has had a couple of struggles here recently. I mean, that matchup between them and Liquid on Cobblestone was a little bit closer than what we might have expected it to be, but we'll see whether or not Fnatic can lock it down here. They're going to be starting on the terrorist side of Mirage, and we are now officially into the pistol round. All
right, so let's get right to it, guys, and take a look. Fnatic jumping onto that T side first. Conquest starting off CT. Pretty normal split here to start things off. They do send 2 over towards the B site to defend this one, and 2 watching out towards middle too, but for Fnatic, it's going to be 4 players pushing up very quickly up towards the T ramp, but Naf, great shot. Going to be able to catch JW right off the get-go.
Yeah, Shazam comes right back in onto Dennis, so it's going very well for Conquest so far in the pistol round. That bomb site, well, now it's going to finally get taken. Flush it does take down Naf. Olafmeister onto Daps, but coming back around, it's going to be Crims finds one more. Shazam takes another one out. The trades are all over the map right now, but the bomb plant is down and the favoring situation towards the terrorist side, and now the retake is on. Flush it back. Firebox looking for this frag on a Stanislaw, and it's going to be Olafmeister to clean him up from stairs, so that is 1-0 for Fnatic. And looked good for Conquest to start off that round. The 2 opening picks going their way, but Fnatic doing Fnatic things. Yeah,
the play from Fnatic basically just happened straightforward. Very quickly there to Conquest, aren't really given a whole lot of time to react to that. With what they had to work with, they do a good job of trying to rotate their players in, but their split just did not favor that kind of aggressive push from Fnatic, so they're very quickly shut down. And now immediately we can see the usual buy coming out from Fnatic in the second round here. 2 AKs and 3 SMGs as they're going to try to plow right through this, whereas with Conquest, not even really investing onto the force buy here. They're just going to stick with, for the most part, P250s and a Deagle for over there for Naf.
Well, they got 3 kills in the pistol round, so they put a little bit of money in the bank as well. So they're opting not to go for the buy up here so that they can get the AWP in the hands of Shazam, because that's really going to be the linchpin for the CT side for Conquest. Is Shazam going to show up? Is he going to be able to hit those AWP shots and shut down any of these pushes from the terrorist side? How is JW going to be adapting to that? So there's a lot of factors in this. Honestly, my key player right now for the Conquest side would be Rush. What kind of a match is he going to be having on this? Because he's really been stepping up lately for Conquest as well. But adversely on the other side, I mean, Crims, the last couple events, he has been absolutely sensational. And now you see him actually starting to creep up into this site. And Naf from a long range with that Desert Eagle is just going to rip his head clean off his shoulders. But that bomb is creeping through the B halls.
Yeah, there's currently nobody watching out for B from the side of Conquest. They now start to realize this, and Shazam is on his way towards the site, but this hold is going to come far too late here, specifically for Shazam. Oh, actually, scratch that. Wow. He manages to take down JW, but a quick response, thankfully coming out there from Olafmeister. Still keeps things in control here for Fnatic. They are going to be down a player against Conquest, but now they've pushed everybody from Conquest out of the site. We see those rotations coming in, but they need to explode outside here and completely overwhelm Fnatic. Otherwise, they're going to start to shut things down very quickly.
Yeah, this is a good pinch, actually, from the CT side. They're sending 2 around from Catwalk and 2 coming around from the kitchen side, but they're starting to expose themselves. Daps goes down. It's still a 3v3, but look at this. They're just going to try to hold them into the site to try to waste those guns and not allow them to fall back. Crims is going to try to at least get himself out of dodge here. He does manage to take down Stanislaw. He's going to go to battle with Nafly, and he's going to take him down as well, but it's going to be Rush in the backside. He could get the backstab here and take an AK out of their hands, and that's looking like, oh, it's very, just barely misses the shot. 1 HP for Crims, but he gets out of it, and he keeps the AK AK. So that's the important thing about it is they lost 3 of the SMGs. They lost 1 over towards the CT side, but they kept both of the AKs, so that's good for their economy.
That's so unfortunate, though. He's only on 1 HP, and he managed to survive there, and that's a whole lot of money he's going to be able to carry into the next round here. The rebuy is now coming out for Fnatic. They actually don't rebuy on... Well, actually, well, scratch that, as Olofmeister does end up buying a MAC-10, but had they have chosen to not buy him, that could have made sense, too. You lose one player, it's not the biggest deal in the world. They could have scavenged that AK, and you don't lose a whole lot of money from that sort of play. But Fnatic's still looking good, but interestingly enough here from Conquest now, that SMG sitting in the hand of Daps. He'll try to work something with this one as they stack all their players on the A site, and it seems to be well placed here. Fnatic may not be expecting this just as of yet.
I don't know if Krim spotted Naf's gun barrel just yet, but there's going to be the peak, and Naf is going to take the battle, takes him very, very low. Rush and Stanislaw going to combine to take down Olofmeister, but the trade comes back out. Now that P90 from Daps underneath the balcony, but he's going to overextend himself. We're down to a 1 versus 2, but it's going to be Stanislaw caught in the middle of a reload. He's going to go down, and Fnatic are going to be able to at least successfully execute their anti-ecos, and they keep, again, 2 of those AKs in hand. Olofmeister picking up an AWP, see if he throws it over to JW, or if he's going to hold on to it himself. But a double op setup right out of the gate here for Conquest.
And this is a very risky move, too, because this is going to virtually leave them with absolutely no money and a very low amount of utility for this entire round, too. You've got 4 smokes for the entire team, but virtually 0 flashbang, or 0 flashbangs beyond what obviously Stanislaw, Daps, and Rusher brought in. And then in terms of volleys and HEs, they've got nothing, so they're not really going to be able to hold back any kind of aggressive play from Fnatic. Thankfully, because again, from that interview that we had with the Fnatic's players, they're probably going to be playing this a little bit slower just because of the fact they don't know what to expect from Conquest, so that could hopefully play into them a little bit. But this first op shot here from Naf, going to miss the connection. Thankfully, he is able to correct it on the second try to take down Flusha.
Yeah, and that was really just kind of a bait and switch play right there, trying to draw that rotation over. But Krims is going to be able to find Daps down by connector from the top side of mid. Shazam actually has the op and window room right now, but he was holding an off angle for that push to come up towards that A bomb site just for the Palace peak, but it's not going to be coming in that direction. Bomb's actually working its way through the B hall, so Rush and Stan are going to have their hands full. That's a cheeky little flash. I like that one. And that actually does catch out one of the Fnatic players, so they're actually falling back a little bit off of the B halls. Bomb is still holding true there, but it looks like he might be working his way around towards underpass. Maybe. No, actually, he's going to be up in the halls. So it does look like it will eventually be a B execution, but they're going to send this lurker up over Catwalk to see if they can scout out any information and see what can happen here.
Here's the thing, too, though, is that Conquest are very fidgety right now. You can see they've completely emptied out all of their utility already. They've got 1 flash left for the entire team, whereas Fnatic, they still have a smoke. They still have an HE sitting on Krims. They've got a lot to work with, but as they try to enter in, Rush turns the other direction, and that's going to be an easy frag for Olofmeister as they start to work their way in. JW, that might have been a mid-air headshot there as he takes down Stanislaw. Shazam finally coming in for a little bit of a response. He's clear as well as he works his way outside of the market, but wrapping around this corner doesn't necessarily spot it, and Olofmeister going to be able to take out Shazam, only leaving Naf left alive. He has to retreat out of this and try to save this op now.
I can't believe that Shazam was actually able to get himself up as far into the site as he was before anybody spotted him. Naf does eventually fall to Krims 4-0 your scoreline, but that could have actually been extremely dangerous with Shazam pushing up as aggressive into the site as he was. If he doesn't get picked off by Olofmeister from Catwalk, he potentially could have done some serious damage to that round.
And there we can see as well, they're right at the end of that round. Shazam just barely missing that opportunity. I think he gets taken down just a second before, and is shut out before he can connect the shot that was needed to allow Conquest to make a little bit more ground to re-enter that site. Now, of course, as we were talking about before, Conquest took that very risky path of going for the double op setup, and now they've been left with virtually 0 money to respond to it on this round, so Fnatic should have a pretty secure round coming in their direction, and already starting it off well here. Rush getting overwhelmed by HE grenades. He's already down at 8 HP, and more progress being made in through a mid connector right now. Dennis, Krims, both picking up kills. They don't necessarily account for Shazam, so he's able to sneak through with at least 1, and Stanislaw too, almost picking up 1 there. I believe Krims down to 11 HP, but just going to be Rush once again now, sitting below. Very, very low, not really going to be able to do anything else, and this one will definitely be going the way of Fnatic.
Yeah, one of the interesting things to look at here is how Fnatic are already, it's only 5 rounds in, and you can see how many different ways they're switching up the pace in this so far. Last round was a slow B strat with a lurk by Flusha out through the A bomb site. Didn't really yield him a lot of information because he got taken down nearly instantaneously by Naf. This time they go fast through mid, get up through connector. They know that it's going to be a save round because of that heavy double up investment. And, you know, they get right in the face of all of those CTs and take them down early on in the round. It's just going to be Rush with Pistol and a Dream. He does manage to take down Krims at least, so a little bit of a silver lining to the round. But let's see if they actually have to... Okay, they do have the money to go for another rebuy here, so I was kind of concerned that with that first gun round, with that double up setup, that it was might give them a double save here, but they're going to go right back for the double up again.
Interestingly enough, if you sort of hark back to that first gun round, it was really Naf and Shazam that made the only really big impact frags from that round too. So it does, to some degree, make a little bit of sense to attempt this once again.
I think they were the only two that actually got any kills the entirety of the round.
So this makes sense because now hopefully the Riflers can have a little bit more impact and maybe they can pick up a round off this. The problem becomes that, again, even though they're getting a small amount of kills on some of these eco rounds, Fnatic on the T side, these can easily be forgiven. So this isn't really putting a big dent in their economy. They're still slowly building up a bank, and this is going to become a problem for Conquest when they finally pick up a first round. Thankfully, though, Naf starting it off strong. He's going to be able to drop Crims. Now, once again, we see that very, very slow play from Fnatic, trying to investigate what exactly is going on throughout the entire map.
This is a little bit scary. I don't know if you caught this at the beginning of the round as Shazam does pick off Olafmeister, and the execution's coming towards the A bomb site, even though the bomb is back towards T-spawn. Dennis onto Naf, but there was a smoke thrown in B halls, and actually the player that was playing back there, I believe it was Stanislaw, dropped another smoke past it, and the terrorist side player is actually up in front of that smoke in B halls right now, so they've got a little bit of a standoff, and now the pop flash comes around. Stanislaw is going to take the fake flash with the pistol throw, but Stan does end up getting that, so he does manage to get the frag in the long run. Now it's going to be down to a 2-on-4. The bomb rotating back around towards the B bomb site, and it's going to be Flusha trying to get in towards B to get that bomb plant and put the money in the bank again. But with 5 rounds to their name right now, Fnatic shouldn't be hurting for money, and Dennis just trying to do some damage over here at the A bomb site.
Dennis actually making the interesting choice. He's going to try to regroup with his teammate. So we have no clue what's happening.
I have no idea, but at least if I'm listening to the sound, okay, Shazam actually did op him down, and now he's going to try to get into the site, spins around, Flusha goes down, Stanislaw going to close it out, and it's a 4-man stand for the first round for Conquest, and that's really, really good, especially I couldn't see if they were able to salvage the second op, so we'll see here in a second whether or not they were able to pick that up for the next round, because that's a big investment to lose going forward, especially when you're relying so heavily on that double op setup. So, and they didn't get it.
So now comes the big test here, because as we were talking about before, Fnatic easily with 5 rounds in a row is still going to have enough money to go for their rebuy. If we see Conquest now dropping this one, they're going to have to reset from square one to build up their economy again, because they're still buying out here. Very heavy investment into utility as well, not really taking it very light in that regard. So we're still seeing Fnatic being able to just crush Conquest here and gain even a bigger lead if they just shut down this round. And now they're going to set up smokes here to go directly into that A site, so let's see how it works out.
Beautiful pop flash, though. Daps is going to be able to find one, finds a second. Nap is there for the backup. Daps hungry for more. He's going to find 3 on the round, and it's all down to Crims. Daps going for the 4-piece, and he gets it. 2 rounds now on the board for Conquest, and a great A-hold. That pop flash was so cheeky.
And that was just an overall great response. When you take a look at Conquest, generally speaking there, they just completely counter out the nades that were thrown in by Fnatic. They knew the take was going to be rushing in, and Fnatic just tried to do that so bluntly that it's easy for Conquest to throw out the pop flashes, and they just get shut down outside of Tetris. They never make any progress past that.
And you said a key word at the beginning of that round as well. The investment in utility on the CT side. That's something that with that double up setup that they hadn't really had a couple of those rounds. This time they have that investment, and they're able to utilize it well to be able to clean up that push into that A-bomb site.
And again, now from Fnatic, we can take a look and see a lot of players trying to push their way into apartment. Shazam, of course, trying to find something in middle. Not going to be able to pick it up, and in fact, it's a direct hit from a nade. So he's going to be down at 41 HP. Has to fall away from that to some degree here, but still keeping a presence in the general area, whereas the rest of Fnatic, the smokes and the setup now coming in towards the B site, and it's going to be a 4-man push through the apartments. Rush has to reposition. He's outside of this right now. The smokes are really well set up. Fnatic is going to be able to make a lot of progress, but they're not accounting for this. Rush coming in there, picking up 2 as he's traded out. Fnatic retain control, but Shazam again finding those trades back out. Fnatic bring this down to a 2 versus 1. It's just going to be Daps. Unfortunately, he's really outside of the combat zone right now and probably won't even really have a chance to try and close this out.
Big thing, though, is that the bomb is still down in that site, and they're a little bit weary to go and retrieve it right just yet. So he's getting a lot of time to be able to rotate back on around. Most likely they'll leave Olafmeister up here in the apartment hallways and B just to, you know, get that 2-man stack over in that side of the site. But right now JW working his way in. The bomb is coming around, so he is going to get that plant down. And now it's going to be Daps coming around from Catwalk. And they have no idea that he's here, actually. Both players were watching towards the kitchen side. Now Olafmeister did change his direction over towards Catwalk, but he's just creeping up. Now over at bench, and he does finally get spotted out. And that's going to be JW trying to make a little bit of noise, pull the distraction. Olafmeister going to take the peek, and he's going to be able to take him down. So a nice job there in that 2v1 from Fnatic, just using their peaks to their advantage.
As you said before, though, Fnatic actually almost really screwed that up because they had gotten a lot of misinformation as to where that final player was actually situated. It almost seemed like there was a call that mentioned he was already inside a market, like they had spotted him previously, so they draw their attention to that. Thankfully, again, someone relocates to bench and they're able to spot him, but that could have gone a completely different direction if they just focused all their eyesight over towards market.
Well, they threw this really, really nice smoke wall over in the B bomb site as well, but it actually hindered their progress as well because that player was able to turtle up behind the bench for so long. I believe believe that was actually Rush that was back there, and he picked up 2 kills from the backside as well.
It's going to be Olafmeister, though, coming in, finding 2 opening picks, dropping both Daps and Naf in order to take both of them down. Now they press their way forward, leaving it down to a 3 versus 5 at this point, but Fnatic definitely in full control. And for Conquest, there's no way they can rotate into this A site. Fnatic take control far too fast. There's nothing the remaining Conquest players are going to be able to do.
Olafmeister, he's still hungry for some more. He gets those 2 opening picks, and he just rushes all the way into CT spawn. He's going to flash his way through the smoke, but Shazam is there with the AWP on the other side, just waiting for him to make that little bit of a mistake. But that's okay, because they've got plenty of money now on the Fnatic side, and losing this round Conquest, they need to have all 3 of these players alive if they want anything to go into the next round with. That's the biggest part about this, because 3 can drop 2, 2 can't drop 3, and that's especially in this situation where their economy is so wounded.
The rest of Fnatic, though, when you take a look at both Dennis and Flusho, they're actually fairly low as well. And necessarily speaking, Fnatic aren't in too secure of a position just as of yet, so they're going to be sticking outside of this. Won't be hunting down those final rifles again. There's that confidence coming into play from Fnatic here, too, as they know they should be able to close this out regardless of the buys Conquest will be bringing into this round. Thankfully, the reinvestment comes in, but no other rifles, just the 3 that they've saved. And it'll be CZs for both Daps and Naf as the final 2 players.
So moving on in here, like you said, you do have armor pistol buy on 2 of the players. The other 3 that did manage to save their rifles after that last round are going to be looking relatively good moving forward. But the biggest part about this right now is they're just neutralizing Shazam's position. Now, he has been effective with the AWP in some of these rounds, but the impact of his frags were a little bit too little, too late in a lot of these situations. So the mid control, they're not really putting a whole huge presence on the T side in mid. They're just fanning out and trying to push into these choke points, you know, with a 2-man squad. You can see, actually, look up at the B halls right now. We are going to switch over. Daps throws a nice pop flash, but he's not even able to get the kill. Takes Dennis down to 8 HP, but because they've got that buddy system, they were able to trade that kill out. Shazam and Stanislaw are going to be able to find a pair themselves, so they are battling back into this round, but Stan on 8 HP, going to be a tough spot.
And now the members of Fnatic are going to have to figure out what exactly is going on in this A side. Olafmeister, again, finding the great entry to get himself outside of here. Picks up the nade kill, but doesn't realize there is a player working his way back in over there through CT. So Shazam may have an opportunity just as yet to connect some of these shots. But unfortunately, with Olafmeister slowly ripping everyone apart, now Naf just rolls in, picking up the first kill. JW fast on the trade, and just going to be Shazam. He never actually makes any forward momentum, too, as his teammate tries to press forward. So he still has basically no ground to work with. But Dennis is going to give him an opportunity, and now trying to let out that final one, switches over to the pistol. It's him versus JW, the up-on-up battle. JW looking for the peak. They both missed their connections. 20 seconds left. No plan coming off as of yet. Now JW down at 5 HP. Shazam just trying to finish him off, but he's wasting time here too. JW needs to get that kill. Shazam gonna miss the crossfire, but as he rolls out, they got the pistols. Now JW is trying to pay it up, but he misses again, and Shazam closes it out.
What the hell just happened? I have no idea what just happened right there. That was just a battle of the ages right there between those 2 players. That was absolutely insane. And again, watching it on the replay here, JW hits that nice flick shot. Shazam just closes it out finally in this 2v1. He did lay the wall bang down, but if JW would have hit that shot with only 5 HP and clutched it out against Shazam, that would have been absolutely detrimental to Conquest. Now, granted, they are losing by 4 rounds, but Shazam's going to get a golden opportunity here in mid because they're finally putting some presence here from Fnatic.
JW, big mistake from him. He wasn't even looking. What is Fnatic doing right now? They're just walking out in the open. There's not even anything to counter out Shazam like they were doing in some of these previous rounds. Finally, we see a smoke coming in, but it's actually misplaced. And because the smoke that's set up back there on Cat, Fnatic have no clue that they've actually messed this smoke up right now. Thankfully, I think they drop Olafmeister down, and he should be able to tell if this setup is not perfect. So that's going to hold Crims back, hopefully. But nope. Thankfully, Shazam had to de-peek, and that's going to give Crims the room he needs to press forward and pick up the headshot to finally take him out there in the window room.
Yeah, but this flank coming out from Rush, he's going to come out from underneath, and Stanislaw getting aggressive in the B halls is going to be able to find Crims as well. So Dennis, your last man standing, was able to get at least 1 trade here, but it's going to be a very difficult task for him. And again, look at how aggressive they are up here in the B halls. Rush is all the way at the very end, so he could surprise him by playing this forward position, and he is going to stay up here in the hallway right now. But I believe he's actually looking the wrong way, thinking that this player is going to come all the way around from catwalk, and he actually shows himself. He spotted Dennis.
I think Rush, yeah, Rush,
he had to.
Rush has noticed Dennis, but it's not the other way around. Oh,
never mind.
Though. Back up those steps. That's a nice little headshot there.
He could get into B and get the bomb plan as well, because the CTs are so far disengaged from this, relying on that forward information from Rush. So now Naf going to try his hand.
And Dennis just waiting this out. The problem becomes, though, Fnatic have been playing this far too slowly, and now he doesn't really have a whole lot of time. He has to get aggressive and look for these final 2 frags, but Naf is going to be sitting up in an elevated position. He'll be able to shut out Dennis there. And that, again, will be another round going towards the direction of Conquest as they continue to try and forge their way back into this game.
Yeah, so Conquest now on 4 rounds to 7. looking to at least make this a close half, and they've got an opportunity here because they finally pretty much dwindled down that economy from the Fnatic side. You can see they're going to be on 4 pistols and an AK here, all with head armor, but a limited amount of nades to work with. So they've only got 1 smoke, so a fast execution towards A is out of the question. You don't have a smoke for stairs or connector. You don't have a smoke for jungle side, maybe just 1 for CT, but that's a pretty big gamble, especially with Shazam. They don't know that he doesn't have an AWP this round, but with him being over towards jungle side, you don't want to take into that site with that kind of a limited buy. But now you can see they're actually going to go for this, and JW going to find Stanislaw. He was completely blinded, and now we see the execution coming out. The pistol comes out from Rush. See what he can do here, because it's still 5 on basically 1 at the site right now, and he's going to go down to Olafmeister's Tech 9. So back in this one, Fnatic.
Yeah, Fnatic have basically already got control of this site too, and this is going to be a very large problem for Conquest now if they even attempt to retake with these final 2 players. Shazam basically was shut down as he attempted to push his way outside of the market room there. And again, we can see Dabs picking up 1 opening kill, but it's almost immediately traded back out. But Dabs being fed some frags there. Both Dennis and Crims trying to forge their way back out. They're going to be shut down. But then Olafmeister coming in with a touchdown shuts down Dabs before any more damage can be done. Fnatic, however, do steal away the round. Well, it was just a force-up from them, and that's not going to be good for Conquest.
No, because of that round 1, because of Fnatic taking that one in the B-bomb site, it's going to force the save here onto the CT side of Conquest. So really difficult spot for them to be in right now. And Flush It, he knows it. He's on the UMP 45 right now. He's going to be farming for that cash money to move on forward, because you saw the money is not good on Fnatic's side, and any fatalities that they have in this round is going to put a very limited buy on them moving forward as well. And just rushing the Molotov, Olafmeister, no respect. The backstab.
He's going to pick up a whole load of kills. But, I mean, as we talk about some of the problems here for Conquest, as we're in a little bit of a lull round, I mean, we just look at it there in that previous round. They absolutely should have won that eco. The big problem becomes, again, the player that is staying stationary there towards the ban position, just sitting back. He's wide out in the open, so when they rush outside of apartments, he's dead meat already. And then from that point forward, the call that they're actually coming into the site comes out far too late. And the rotations just, even after the call goes out, the rotations are just so slow from Conquest. There's a lot of problems with the team communication aspect and just general movement here from Conquest. So they seem to be very timid to make any sort of big movement around the map that's really impeding them from picking up quite a few of these rounds now.
Yeah, the big thing about that is that it's so unpredictable playing against Fnatic, because they don't respect your gameplay until you make them. And right now, the pistol's actually doing some work here. Daps with the CZ is going to be able to find one. Stanislaw did at B as well, but he's going to fall to Crims, and we're going to be back onto a 3 versus 4. But Daps has salvaged an AK-47, and he's been playing relatively well in some of these tough situations. Now we've got a very aggressive push from Shazam. Once again, getting in towards this bomb site. Nafly and Shazam are going to be able to combine to take one down. Rush and Daps combine to take down Flush It. It's all on Crims. What can he do? It's going to be a, well, it was a 3 versus 1. Now it's going to be a 2 versus 1. And Nafly in the backside of this site. He's so good with this Desert Eagle, but he's going to peek the wrong corner at the wrong time. And Crims is going to isolate the 1v1. So again, just a little overextended there on the CT side.
There's a problem there with Naf being that far up, and obviously again Rush is way too far back. Like, he's in a standard position. It's not like he's just a late rotate. He's actually sitting back outside of Cather. That's a pretty, unfortunately they're counting on Crims rolling back out and actually trying to finish off the final 2 players, which he technically ends up doing. But the setup is just assuming he's going to roll out and go for the plant without a check in the site, which is a bit foolish. And he had 55 seconds left anyway, so it's kind of assumed that he's going to sit back and wait for those final 2 players to come to him, which works out perfectly. And he's able to close out that round, giving Fnatic now a 10th round for themselves.
Yeah, and that, honestly, at first you're looking at it on paper, that's not a round that Conquest should have even remotely been in, but it comes down to that 3v1, and Crims just too strong. Finds them all.
We actually see the double up setup coming in for the T side now over here on Fnatic, as they're going to pick those both up, but you can see him starting to push in. Daps is in a pressured situation, sitting underneath the platform right now, trying to keep himself alive, but Fnatic are stuttered again. There's these flashes coming back out here from Conquest. They're not able to make any forward momentum, and Shazam just ripping into these players left and right. Some good damage has gone into Flusha, and he's managed to execute Dennis. Now Olafmeister trying to turn it back around. He does pick up a kill back by middle, and that's going to shut out Rush. So Conquest are going to have a little bit more to worry about, and they'll have to back out a little bit and give Fnatic room to breathe.
Oh, but Olafmeister, he's walking through this smoke. He's got a player right on the other side, and Naf is going to find him anyway, and now he's going to go for another peek. But look at this. Flusha lines up too. Shazam and Daps goes down, and it just swings all the way back. It's Stanislaw versus 2. So all that work that Shazam and Naf just did got completely negated. Coming around from the side, though, Stanislaw is going to be able to find one. He's in a 1v1 versus Flusha. He knows that he's behind the default plant boxes, so he should be able to get in here and get this frag because Crims is just, he's still sitting behind here. But Crims takes the peek and just rips his head off, and you can see see the disappointment on Naf's face at the end of that round.
We talk about Naf and Shazam again, and unfortunately I don't have the exact stats sitting in front of me, but those two, again, were just making all of the impact, it seemed, for most of these rounds coming out of Conquest. They were the two big fraggers that were able to make the impact that finally allowed Conquest to pick up a few of these rounds, but we just didn't ever see it coming out from a lot of those other guys. There was not a big performance from the other three members of the roster.
Yeah, and I apologize, that wasn't Naf, that was actually Stanislaw. That was a little emotional there at the end of that last round, but understandably so. A little frustration there. 4-11 is your score line. Fnatic in control of this one. Big T-side half for him. And I honestly don't really see Conquest with... Yes, that is Naf. Thank you very much. I don't really see much of an opportunity here for the CT or for the terrorist side to get back into this one. And Dennis, well, he's going to make sure they have absolutely no shot at this. Picking up back-to-back-to-back headshots.
Dennis is just having a good old time.
Dennis the Menace.
At top mid right now. Hold on, can he get a fourth? Finally. We see him shut out by Stanislaw there, taking him down. But
where you fall, I will pick you up. And Olaf Meister goes right back into Stanislaw. Nafly can't lay it down, and Olaf right around the corner is going to be able to finish that off. So there's a little hesitation there, but Fnatic come out. They win both of the pistol rounds now, and that's just a really tough spot for Conquest to be in right now.
Olaf Meister just wanted to slide into your T-spawn there to finish off the final player. So Fnatic again are going to start off this.
I'm blushing.
Are going to start off this half strong for themselves. And for Conquest, we do see the second round vibe because they kind of have to, unfortunately. Yeah. With how far behind they are, they really can't afford to sit back and save for the fourth round. As much as I think they would like to with this sort of strategy they're trying to employ here on this T side, it just won't work. They need to try and get back into this game right now, otherwise Fnatic are going to gain too large of a lead.
And the other big thing is that they didn't, they got one kill in the pistol round, no bomb plant. So it would kind of be foolish. There's no reason. They're not going to be able to get a third round buy-in. So they go for this. But Olaf Meister and his Mag 7 have something to say. That's going to be one.
They're lining up.
Oh my God. If he would have taken that shot and gotten like a triple with a Mag 7, that would have been insane. But the flash comes out. He's going to be looking, duck hunting. There's a second one.
And up flushes here.
There's a fourth. Olaf Meister with the 4K. And that is a metric crap load of money that he just earned that round off of 4 Mag 7 kills. But he was just duck hunting in the backside of that site.
This is again the problem from Conquest though, is they're so timid. They just don't want to. They just don't really want to seem to make any progress. They're all sitting back. They're trying to hide. Like, you go first, then you go first, then you go first. Then Fnatic's like, okay, I'll go first, and then they just shut them all down.
Well, they were so scared to go through that smoke in B halls. I really wish Olaf Meister would have pulled just tap mouse one time and see how much damage that would have done, because that was nuts. But he does get the 4K anyway, and now they're going to go aggressive onto the A ramp side there. So they're playing this no respect style. That flashbang is brutal. But Rush is going to be able to answer back, but they've got another player playing close. That's going to be Krems, who manages to find 2, finds 3. But Daps is going to be able to trade that. But JW from distance is going to be able to take him down with the scout headshot through the wall as well with style points, and that's going to be a 14-4 scoreline now. Fnatic in complete control.
And with the way Fnatic are playing this too, they just want to shut this down. They don't want to let this go any further. They're playing, as you said before, absolutely no respect given to Conquest at all. Pushing into them, rushing them exactly where they're pressing out, and just shutting them down so far in these first couple of rounds. But we now see the vibe coming out from Conquest, and of course this is going to be their real last chance to try and forge their way back into this game. They drop it here. Fnatic, they're going to be on match point, and for Conquest, well, they're not going to have any money. So.
Yeah, they got to go for this, 12 rounds in a row to win this map out. And Olaf Meister opening things up. They've got the double up set up here on the CT side for Fnatic. They already know that there's going to be one up in Palace, and Krems, he's going to find him. Russian connector. Gets dinked, but he does manage to finish off one. But, JW, are you okay?
A little bit of trouble there. He's going to have to go for the repeat.
Oh, and he gets it anyway.
Yeah, he manages to correct it, so that's a good little mix-up there on his part. But because this happens, he actually isn't able to rotate into the A side quickly enough, so now we can see Daps actually getting that plant. And if he can clutch this out, that's going to be a nice little boost because he's given a lot of time to get into his post plant. I do think Fnatic...
They know he's there. Yeah, JW had to have spotted him when he was crossing over from the jungle side, and they're just going to push on in. He finds the first. Can he get the second one, though, to keep his team alive in this one? No, he cannot. JW finishes him off, and he does have a kit, so the defuse is going to come out, and we're going to be on map point now for Fnatic on Mirage.
Yeah, and I mean, like, honestly, no surprises here. Fnatic obviously playing to their best. One of their bigger maps here, and looking on to the next one here, Inferno. The prospects, unfortunately, are not going to be looking very good at all here for Conquest. They made some good strides on the CT side, but when it's come to this T side, not only do they really just not have enough rounds to play around with, but we're just not really seeing anything on these gun rounds at all here either.
Well, the thing about it, too, is the rounds that Conquest won on their CT side, they won in a pretty big fashion as well. You know, they had 3 or 4 players alive. It looked like, hey, maybe they can string some rounds together, but Fnatic's just, nope. Not going to let it happen. We're just going to answer right back into your guys' faces, and we're going to be able to take you guys down. And now that AWP from JW at the top side of mid, still looking for it. Whoa.
All right. I don't want to op here anymore.
I don't. I'm just gonna.
I'm JW. I smoke myself out a window.
Not only that, but he got it to stay right on the little lip in the window. That was neat.
So that's obviously, again,
it's the little things.
Shouldn't really impact too much here because now Dennis is going to be able to roll in there, and he's picking up kills left and right from within side of the A site there, just outside. And we'll see Rush picking up one more response kill to all of this, but still leaving it down to a 3 versus 3 scenario. And Conquest now trying to maybe push their way. They're falling back now, actually, too, as they made some progress towards B, hoping to draw rotation from Fnatic. And to a certain degree, it is going to work, as I believe they're going to bring Dennis a little bit closer. He's not actually going to fully rotate. He's going to come back just outside of crossface.
This is scary.
The problem is, though, is, as they try to re-enter, here's Flush. He's just ready for this, and he can call this. Even if he does go down, not going to be a big issue, but he's down at 1 HP. Going to try to take down Daps. Daps will find the trade, but now he's alone in this 1 versus 2.
Yeah, and he's also contending against Dennis, who has himself around. 3 kills on that one. 16-4 is going to be map number 1. DE Mirage going the way of Fnatic, and that was actually the pick for Conquest. So a little bit of a rough spot for them to be in, but we're going to be moving forward onto Inferno in just